Hello again, fellow self-reliant folks. We are making red clover tea. It has many, many nutritional benefits. It's great to drink just to boost your immune system and your overall health. It's great to add some extra nutrients if you're in a survival situation. It's high in vitamins A, B, B2, C, potassium, phosphorus, niacin. It has all kinds of nutritional punch to it. You can see here it's still steeping. It needs to steep for about another minute, so then go ahead and we'll talk about the tea a bit. I used dried clover for this. Some people use fresh. I use fresh in my cold tea or lemonade type medicinal drink, but I tend to use the dried more in the tea. And so I washed them off, plucked off all the leaves, got me a nice heaping 1 tablespoonful for a standard coffee cup. That's typical coffee cup size there. It's also a great diuretic, an anti-inflammatory, a fever fighter. It's supposed to be great for menstrual pains, women going through menopause. There's some cautions about the tea, about using it if you're on a blood thinner, have blood clotting issues, if you have issues with getting blood clots and not trying to get your blood to clot, this could be beneficial. But you have to be careful. It doesn't interact with certain heart medications. It can help lower your blood pressure. So if you have low blood pressure, you may not want to drink it. You can read a lot of the warnings in the article. I'm not a medical professional. I'm sharing some nice herbal remedies that I've learned and used over the years that work for my family. You should always talk to a medical professional before you take any natural remedy. Just because it's natural does not mean it might not be bad for you and your particular health and situation or interact with your medication. If you have a problem with aspirin, there are a lot of the same compounds in clover, which is a great fever reducer. So you don't want to take it. So you need to read through the precautions and talk to a medical professional. And if you are a survivalist homesteader like we are, you want to do that stuff now. It's great to stockpile these recipes and forage supplies, purchase supplies, print you out some great information and in a binder to have it ready. But if you're not sure how it interacts with your health condition or medicines, and a lot of people look at alternative ways to treat chronic conditions during a long-term disaster, or even possibly in a short-term disaster that only lasts a week or two and you're out of your medication. That might be a very great thing to do, but you need to do your research first to make sure you're not taking something that's going to exacerbate another problem. Clover may or may not, depending on which studies you look at, and they've mostly been in animals, help fight certain types of cancer, especially prostate cancer. But if you are a woman who has had breast cancer or any type of uterine or cancer of the genitals, it can actually cause tumor growth. Or I don't know if you have that as history in your family, if that can make an impact. Like I said, I'm not a doctor. Clover is generally typically deemed to be safe. It's not an approved drug by the FDA, but there are people with certain medical conditions that it might be more harmful than beneficial. So that's steeped a long time. I have a little metal tea diffuser thing and a nice little metal strainer that I can put down there to steep it, but I'm not sure where it is. So I did mine in the microwave, and I'm going to pour it through a regular kitchen strainer, which is going to leave some particles floating in it. If you're going to preserve this, you got to get all the natural matter out. It can cause bacteria growth or lead to mildew, but if you're going to drink it right away, there's no harm in getting a little bit of leaf or a little bit of the flower head. But for preservation purposes, please use a fine mesh strainer, cheesecloth. Sometimes I'll grab 2 or 3 coffee filters and lay that in a strainer for something like this. But if you're doing it on a teapot, you're going to need to let it steep for about 10 or 15 minutes. I microwave my water to about 3 minutes, the way my husband does his typical morning tea. And then I let these red clover heads, steep in it for about still the same close to 10 to 15 minutes. I used 1 heaping tablespoon for a standard cup of water. And the typical dosage, if you want to call it that an adult would take on a daily basis for immune system boosting or to fight a cold or any other condition they're using the red clover for, would be about 3 coffee cups per day. So I'm going to go ahead here with my spoon, tilt my strainer up a bit, and mush on these flower heads to get every last bit of liquid out of them. Now the liquid in this is a little bit lighter than what it normally would be. I would tell you guys to check out the video that I made on the cold drink, the lemonade. The horses have beat me too. a lot of my flour. We're in the middle of hay baling and bush hogging fields that rotate pasture. Now the only real problem with the clover is they love it, and they eat too much of it can cause colic or liver damage. And I did not want to go through all of my dried clover, which is getting pretty sparse, and I reused a little bit of clover to get my heaping tablespoonful. Reusing them and exposing them to heat twice is going to reduce the nutrient and medicinal value in them, but I didn't want to delay the video, and it just made a slight discoloration. It would typically be a smidge darker. I still have a little bit of natural matter in there, so I'm going to strain it again. You can reuse them. It's not going to hurt you to reuse them. You're just reducing the amount of the benefit that you would get from them. Let's see if I can maybe, I want to get these, picking up the hot coffee cup, not by the handle, not wise. My mother watched this. I did not curse while I did that. I'm going to try just to scoop a little bit out so you can see. It's just a flour head. And this is going to be taste tested by a member of our tribe right away. So I'm not going to really worry about the excess in there. As you can see, that kitchen strainer did not do as well as the tea diffuser or a fine mesh strainer. I'm going to put my spoon here and capture some of the bigger pieces. But those aren't going to hurt you at all either. Now, once you have your tea made, you can add some flavorings in it. You want to drink it just like this. If you're a black coffee drinker, you might want just the fully darkened tea. And as you can see here, if I can turn it, it's not that much lighter once you get it all poured in a more confined space, but it really should be a smidge darker than that. And I believe it's because I had to reuse a little bit of my clover. I would put about a tablespoon, and this is to taste. The recipe is just a guide. You can put in however much you have on hand. Maybe you really like honey. Maybe you don't like honey that much. But honey does have its own healing properties, so if you're taking this to fight cold and flu, it surely is not going to hurt to add a good bit of honey in there. I'm not going to put the amount that I typically would do, because our tribe member that's going to taste test it is also diabetic, and